Hey, welcome back to the Game Nexus, everybody. Today, my name's Dwayne.
This is Kevin.
And we're going to do a unboxing video for Days Gone By, which is an expansion pack for the Walking Dead All-Out War miniature game. So let's bust into it and see what you get. Now, how much is this guy, Kev? Do you know? Not sure.
I don't.
Okay. This would be an add-on, so if you don't already have the core set, you need to buy the All-Out War core set, the core game.
Yes, yes. You need to have the core game to play any of the expansions. Mm-hmm. The only one that might be different is the Woodbury. There's a Woodbury expansion.
I heard
that is a standalone expansion.
I heard that as well, that you can buy that and play it. This one is not that, though.
This one is not. I'm guessing this one probably goes for about 40 Canadian. I might be wrong on that. But.
And if you didn't catch our previous unboxing, make sure you go down and check that out, where we just unboxed the core set, so you get an idea of what the game's all about. And what the look of it's like, and this follows suit with that theme. So, without any further ado, we'll jump in and show you what you get.
Excellent. Let's have a look.
I'm going to say this though, right off the bat, Mantic's done a great job on presentation. Artwork is just spot on. Packaging is good.
All right, so. Looks like in the set we have, comes with Dale and Alan, Jim, and it says on the back actually.
So you get Dale, Alan, Jim, and Donna with 2 walkers.
And once again, as per the other core set, we have some fantastic detail on these miniatures.
Yeah, they've done a really good job on these plastic minis. Going to be great to paint them. Good old Dale. He doesn't come with a camper, though. I can't remember if Dale actually dies in the comic books. Does he? I think he does. He does die in the comics. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I think he does.
Yeah, he does, actually. You know what? Dale takes, what's his face? Bob from the show where he gets tainted meat. You know, the cannibals eat him. That's Dale in the comics.
So it comes with 2 walkers, and once again with really high quality as well.
And keeping in mind, if you have the core, well, you would have the core set. You get about a dozen walkers in the core set, so
you do.
You know, not like this is you're going to be short on any of the walkers. Very well done, and also nice that they're pre-assembled with their bases. Some miniature games force you to glue the figures to the base.
I love that. It's a Mohawk walker.
There we go. And again, modeled after one that appeared in the comics.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So if you haven't seen our other unboxing, as mentioned, all the walkers that come in these sets are actually a walker from the comic. So you will see that walker appear somewhere in the comic series.
Cool. And also, no 2 walkers alike.
No 2 walkers are
so alike. They're building individual sculpts for their expansions.
Exactly.
Cool.
So I have to give kudos to Mantic for that, because it would be so easy just to be able to create some...
Well, they could just create 2 or 3 molds and just keep pumping out, you know, molds of the same zombies, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have the character cards for each of the characters. So it looks like...
should be 4 characters in that?
Yes.
And of course with point cost for rolling them into your team, obviously.
There's actually 6 in here.
Is there?
Yeah, I got a Patrick and a...
Patrick and a Sandra.
Which I don't believe are in this set.
No, interesting. Well, I wonder if that's something that they just doubled up on. Maybe they're different versions of the characters?
Maybe.
Possibly.
That is a good possibility, actually.
Yeah. Days Gone By, so I don't know anything about the comic storylines, but maybe these were characters in the comic storyline?
They were, yes.
Yeah. And I know Patrick and Sandra were in the core set, so maybe different versions of the character to reflect the scenario, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah. Possibly.
Could very well be. We'll have to have a look at that, actually. So there's Dale. He's Atlanta Lookout, a marksman. Jim support, and actually, curious enough, Jim has a higher point value than Dale does.
I don't know Jim.
Jim was actually a character in the series, the TV series as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't make it past season 1.
Okay.
He ended up getting bitten and after they left their camp, they stopped at the side of the road and left him tied to a tree.
Was that Carol's husband?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
His name was Ed.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Alan.
But these are also some more characters that we don't have figures for.
No, we have figures for these.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, these 4 we do have the figures for.
Okay.
So,
There we go. So that's more character cards.
so I'll let you
Add
do
there.
the honors of that one.
So more events, and we saw in the previous video there, it came with quite a large amount of events. My guess is once we get into the rules, we'll find that these are important for gameplay's sake. But basically events, my guess is they form a deck until we learn in the game, but I'm thinking they form a deck and players draw these and they sort of dictate what happens with the zombies or what happens on the table. So it reflects the random element of the Walking Dead world with zombies and stuff. This one's called All Threat Levels. A fire breaks out unexpectedly. Fire! So these are probably just, the game probably tells you to draw these and apply the effects.
And you can see some of them say +1 threat, so I'm guessing that must add some sort of...
Well, this one's interesting. Players with initiative must choose one survivor inside or within 3 inches of a wood. That model sets off a bear trap or hunting scenario. So these are just kind of situational things that affect the game, random elements. Very cool. Again, like I said, I'm very excited to play this game.
And there are supplies.
Yeah, just like we had in the
Supplies
last
and
game. There's
equipment.
supplies.
I'll let you have a look at those.
Now, supplies are, these would be supplies. So supplies are, from what you have learned, are randomly placed on the map, is what you're thinking? And these are items that players can actually secure in the game, as opposed to starting off? Not sure?
Be not
Okay.
sure.
I know equipment seems to be like you pay a cost. So you notice that supplies don't have a cost on them. So that tells me that they aren't factored in initially, right? You
Yeah.
don't have to build them into your
I
deck.
think so. We actually haven't played the game yet, so
And equipment all seem to have a cost attached. So I'm thinking that this is part of your build out
your
process.
build for your
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, we said in the last video, if you didn't catch that, is these are smaller cards than what you might see in normal games. Most hobby stores will have small sleeves as well. Highly recommended you protect these. These kind of cards will get a lot of wear, and it'd be a shame to have them fray at the edges or whatever. So make sure you hunt those down because they don't provide those.
And it actually, in that pack, it came with 2 Mantic points.
And you talked about magic
if you
points.
didn't catch our previous video, we talked a bit about the Mantic point system. So what it does is every time you buy an expansion or the core pack or whatever from Mantic, you get Mantic points, and you can use those to purchase. So you collect a certain amount, 15 points, and you can get certain characters that you can add to your team. So you can collect team members like Negan, Michonne, I know there's certain walkers you can collect as well. So it's a very interesting way of Mantic to do that. So I don't know if those characters you can buy on their own, or if the only way to get them is from collecting Mantic points.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, it adds another depth to the game too.
Okay, well, moving on to the final run of product that you're getting it. Just like the last set, you know, they've spared no expense. Very high quality rulebook and campaign guide. So this one's an expansion pack that deals with a narrative. So there's going to be linked missions in here that talk about the different chapters, and there's obviously different story to go along with each chapter. But just like the previous rulebook and the core set, incorporating artwork from the comics to set the tone. Very good quality print. You know, reference pictures for painters out there. Just in general, the whole rulebook just oozes quality.
Yeah, there's it gives you different scenarios to play out and different recommended characters.
Yeah,
That's really awesome, actually. If you look at the top, chapter 6, and it gives you recommended participants.
Yeah. I feel like the game's going for more of a narrative pull than it is a competitive tabletop game pull.
Definitely.
You know, it's more of like, hey, we're gonna play a story tonight or something, right? As opposed to, I'm gonna fight you tonight.
It's changing up the miniature scene a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to cater to different type of players, for example, but I think it's keeping the spirit of the TV show, so that's cool. So yeah, so that's the included expansion rulebook. I'll let Kevin do the map. This is another included map, which is a paper map. Again, high quality, not laminated, but glossy print. so not cheap by any means.
No, not at all. It's got great detail in it.
Yeah, it's almost like it's been painted on. It's trying to give you a feel that it's a 3D terrain, but not. At a glimpse, it looks really detailed.
And a really cool thing about this is actually an add-on map for the core set.
Yeah, because the road on the previous map ends, and then this would continue on.
Yes.
I wonder if it's a puzzle with all their expansions. Like if you buy this and that, and then will be other ones, and is it going to form like a master map?
That's a good question.
Right. Good call. Yeah, I mean, probably my recommendation, just from my experiences, is I would look at either mounting this or laminating. Probably mounting it if it's going to be a permanent thing in your gaming room. But obviously you want to keep this as flat as possible, so laminating is a good option as well.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then might as well keep the map where you can see it includes some tokens as well. So these are scenery tokens, and again, high quality print. So you can see right there. I'll let you hold up the camera. That's and they've got tents, they've got trees. Obviously at some point you're going to build your own terrain. That would be the coolest thing. But even laying this down gives you a good sense because the artwork is so good. It doesn't feel like it's just kind of cheap paper terrain. It kind of looks and it feels good. So I'm actually kind of curious to see how that plays out in the game. And again, the markers and everything are really high quality. They put it on really good cardstock. So that's kudos to Mantic for
very thick, you can see.
For not cheaping out on their materials.
Yeah, they such fantastic detail in them.
Make sure you get a little bin. I know I had to do that with Imperial Salt. You've probably seen my plastic containers with all the markers and stuff. Yeah, so at some point the box just becomes filled with stuff. So I went and bought some plastic containers. Put all your little tokens in it. Keeps it all organized.
Yep,
a little bit easier.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. So this is the Days Gone By expansion, part of the Wave 1 for All Out War Walking Dead. Make sure you check out our other video with the core set if you haven't already. And of course, thanks for tuning into the Game Nexus for this unboxing. Make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, and please feel free to leave any comments or questions down below. And don't forget to hit that like button.